A very good evening, scholars. I welcome you all to the cracking the exam strategy of UGC NET that is going to take place on 16 to 25 of September.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
So after a lot of waiting, the time has arrived for the final revision. And here, once I am going to talk about the exam strategy, it is only for those students who have finished their syllabus. जिन्होंने पूरे सिलेबस को एक बार पढ़ा हुआ है, ये स्ट्रेटेजी उसी को काम आने वाली है। जिन्होंने अपना जो ये सोच रहे थे कि हम लास्ट मोमेंट में जब एग्जाम का डेट आएगा तब हम रिवीजन स्टार्ट करेंगे या पढ़ाई स्टार्ट करेंगे, तो दिस स्ट्रेटेजी इज नॉट गोइंग टू वर्क बिकॉज ओनली 25 to 26 days आर लेफ्ट। तो आपने पूरी सिलेबस एक बार पढ़ी हुई है, पूरा बुक, कोई भी एक पर्टिकुलर बुक को पढ़ा हुआ है, देन ओनली दिस लास्ट 20-25 days इज वर्थ। The first thing I would like to ask all the scholars that give equal importance to both the papers, paper 1 and paper 2. जितना आपने पढ़ लिया है उस पे फोकस करना है। Whatever you have already studied, there you have to focus. So divide the areas into different grades. So I'm going to talk about what are the things that you are going to do in next 25 days, which is going to bring miracles in your revision. First thing, start solving the previous year paper. There are lots of previous year papers of NET and SET are available online. Download them, and minimum 2 papers are to be solved for each paper. For paper 1, solve 2 papers every day, and for paper 2 also solve 2 papers every day. So that is going to take around 3 to 4 hours every day for solving the paper. Now you can ask me, what is the benefit of solving the papers? Are the same question going to be asked? No. There are hardly few questions that might be repeated. There are very less chances. But now, from 2018 onwards, NTA, when it's taking the exam, it asking the conceptual questions. The questions based on the concepts, where you will have to apply a rule of elimination. You will directly never know what is the right answer. But yes, you know that this option is not correct. This option is wrong. This is known as elimination strategy. So this elimination strategy is going to work in this exam. And that will only work when you have the background knowledge, basic knowledge, through which you can apply the elimination. So that is the reason I am asking you to solve the previous year papers. Although they are not going to repeat the same questions, but definitely it will help you out to apply elimination. So in paper 1 or paper 2, whenever you are sitting in the exam, do not think that this question I have not studied. Every student will be like you only. And you will find 50 to 60% questions are quite surprising, which we have never seen. And you feel like this paper is quite difficult. But this difficulty level will always be there. And why it is difficult? Because they have applied the technique of asking conceptual questions. So do not get disheartened to look at the tough questions or difficult questions. It will be there because they are going to check your concept. Do you understand the logic? Do you understand the concept of a particular question or not? So every day solve 2 papers of paper 1 and paper 2. I have also posted my set of papers from 1994 to 2014 in various groups. I hope all of you are having. If it is not there, I'll send it again in all the groups. Start from the backward. If you have the question paper from 2014 to 2019, start with solving the paper from 2019. Means the most difficult part should come first. Do not think that the papers who are of 2001, 2002, 2003, they are of no use. Obviously, they are of use, although the same question will not be asked, but again, you will get the basic knowledge, background knowledge of each and everything, which will help you in elimination round. I hope I am audible to everyone.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, audible.
Okay, so this is the thing that is going to create a difference between a successful scorer and a failure. The one who is able to apply the elimination technique will definitely qualify the exam. Do not cram new things at the last moment. Cramming new things means remembering lots of information in less time. And generally the students do because they have not finished their syllabus even once. And I think that finishing entire syllabus in just 20 to 25 days. And I received lots of calls from the various scholars who were totally surprised looking at the exam date, how it can be just in just 20 to 25 days. It was like a surprise attack. But those who have finished their syllabus at once, who have read the entire syllabus at once, it will be very easy for you to revise, read the things at once. So do not think of reading and remembering the things again. If you have studied already, you have made your codings. Coding in the sense, if you want to remember 8 to 9 items together, you must have made a code. Like code in the sense, if I say that what are the dark plays of Shakespeare? So I made a code ATM. A for all is well, that ends well. T for trellis and proceed, and M for measure for measure. So this is my code for what are the dark plays of Shakespeare. So likewise, to remember such type of items which are point wise, so you must have made some coding. So just look at the coding, you not to remember the things again. So this is an advice to all the scholars who have already finished their syllabus at once. The most important is time management. Every day you have to spend 5 to 6 hours. I'm not asking more than that. 4 hours for solving the papers and analyzing them. Solving the paper in the sense, solve the papers and look at each and every option. Other options are more important than the questions. If there are 4 options in the writers and their works, so question like which of the following is correctly matched, and in that there is a writer and book's name. So all the 4 options you must know. Although there is only one option which is right, but you must remember all the 4 options, that which is the writer of this book. If it is given wrong, you must know the right answer. So looking at each and every option is equally important. That I call analyzing the answer. Always analyze the answer after you finish it. Do not just match the answer key and get excited or get disheartened. The question, solving the question is not for checking that how much marks you get. It doesn't matter. Solving the question paper means how you analyze the questions. So do not judge yourself while solving the paper that I have got only 20 marks out of 50 or I have got 25 out of 75. That doesn't matter. And you may take the help of Google to find the more and more information about a particular question which you don't know. And do not get panicked because of the less time. 25 days is more than sufficient to do a complete revision. You must take one book as your specimen, whichever your book is your specimen book, your favorite book, which you read every time. Only read one book at a time. Do not keep 10 books at a time on your table and start one page from this book and one page from that book. You'll be completely confused. So only read one book at a time. And do not try to learn new things. Whatever is there in the question paper, previous year question papers, learning those questions is all right. But learning the new things, if you think that I am very weak in research methodology, or I'm very weak in communication and I must prepare now, so this is not the right time. Whatever you already know, focus your entire energy on that. Your strong area should be your monopoly. Monopoly in the sense, whatever you know, you should make sure that I am not going to miss any question of my strong area. You should have that much command of your strong area. If you feel you are very strong in reasoning and mathematics, focus your attention towards that. If you do not know data interpretation, if you don't know reasoning and math, there is no use of creating anxiety in your mind that they're only going to ask 5 to 6 questions from area. And if you, so if I talk about paper 1, you plan yourself to fetch minimum 30 questions, whether you belong to any of the category, and if you're planning for NET. But if you're planning for GRF, then minimum 35 questions are to be corrected. So that you want to be on the boundary line. You want to be in tension, that whether I'll qualify or not. If you are getting 60% for NET and 70% for GRF, there is dead surety that you will qualify. The next point, shift between the two subjects. Don't read one subject continuously. It will
voice disturbance is there.
be quite boring. So if you are solving paper 1, then the next should be paper 2. Then again paper 1, again paper 2. So change of subjects brings excitement and interest in the studies. So these are the strategies that you must note down. Okay, I need to reconnect myself. Am I clearly audible?
Yes, sir. Now audible, sir.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so I was talking about always keep a gap between two subjects. So when you are solving paper 1, complete its solving and have a rest for 15 minutes or half an hour, then start the other paper. Although these are looking very small things, but it creates a big difference in your strategy. And not sleep is always required. So rise, I'll study for 14. That is going to spoil your health, which is not acceptable at the last moment. If you are healthy, then only you can prepare well, you can study well. So keeping yourself healthy is equally important. Spend some time in exercise in the morning and evening walk, because until you are healthy, you can't study. So in the last moment, the main target should be focused on keeping yourself healthy. So sleep for 6 to 7 hours every day and start doing exercises, morning and evening walks. Although you think that these are the common things, but really these things work magically during the last moment of the exams. The most important point is disconnect yourself for a time being from social media, from Facebook, WhatsApp, Twitter, and Telegram, because these are the greatest distractors while studying. Fix your time that I am going to spend half an hour in the morning and half an hour in the evening for the social media. Do not keep checking the messages all the time. Make a plan for the social media. It will be far better. Whatever you revise today to people, but if you revise and talk to people, talk with your friends, it will be a better retention in your mind, because you will talk something else, your friend will talk something else, so it will be like sharing the knowledge together. The most important point is making a timetable. As I said that all of you must read for 5 to 6 hours every day, minimum 6 hours. So make a timetable, which is your convenient time, and not deviate from your timetable. Whatever the time you have, timetable you have made, try to stick to it, because it is you who have made it. आपने बनाया और आपको खुद को फॉलो करना है, तो आप वही टाइम सेट करो which is comfortable for you. And also intimate your family members that this is my timetable, so that they must be comfortable with your timetable. They must know that you should not be disturbed during those hours. I know many of you are employed and some of you are having so many responsibilities, but I am asking you just to devote this 5 to 6 hours only for next 25 days. But yes, if you think that you have not read your syllabus completely, then this strategy might not work, because reading everything, the entire world literature in 25 days is just making a joke. The next important point is dividing the syllabus into 3 categories. Categorize your syllabus into 3 parts. I call it red, blue, and green. Red syllabus, I mean those chapters or those parts which you have never read, because it is of no interest to you, or the material might not be available to you, or there might be some other reasons, so you have not read completely. If I talk about paper 1, some of you may say that I am very weak in data interpretation, some of you may say I am very weak in research methodology, so that will be your green, red areas. So mark your red areas. What are your red areas in paper 1 and what are your red areas in paper 2? If you mark your red areas, you can discard that. Why I am asking to mark it? Because this is not right time to read the new things. The blue areas and the green areas. Green areas are those areas in which you are confident, in which you have lots of interest. So even if you pay less time to that, you know that those things already. So mark your green areas. The most important area is the blue area, where you have to give your 1 to 2 hours of your study. So divide your areas, sit for half an hour or 1 hour, take the syllabus of paper 1 and paper 2 and divide those areas. And if you get time to solve practice sets, instead of not only instead of, but apart from solving the previous papers, always also solve practice sets, which will add some extra feather on your cap. I've already given one notification in the group. Those who want to take practice sets, they can fetch it. I prepared around 50 practice sets depending upon the latest syllabus. So those who feel that they can qualify, they only need to go through the practice sets, because it is only for those people who have revised their syllabus. Without revision, the practice set is of no use. It will you will be totally blank, and not only blank, you will be get discouraged. That I don't know anything. So something like this type of mentality will develop inside you. But you have to study the syllabus, and even if you are getting less marks in the practice set, it will empower you. And always give equal importance to paper 1 and paper 2, because both of the papers are going to decide your merit. If I talk about paper 1, you must talk about paper 2, I mean English. So you must fetch your 55% minimum in paper 2 for NET and 65 for JRF. This is the minimum requirement if you qualify, if you make 55 questions in paper 2 and 30 questions in paper 1, any of the category. So I'm just talking, keeping in sense the general category, which is the highest marks required in that category. Now coming to the point, one is teaching aptitude. This part of paper 1 covers mostly the syllabus of B.Ed. So those who have already done B.Ed, they know better. Of teaching aptitude, always mark the answer based on elimination, because most of the times you will find that questions, all the options are correct. So do not try to find the right answer, rather try to find the wrong answers. So it is a bit time taking, but it will give you the right result. Nowadays, all paper 1 and paper 2 are asked together, so there is no time restriction. You can take as much time as you want in paper 1, because in paper 2 you need less time. And the research aptitude is like, you know or you don't know. So you need not to put lots of pressure on your mind. If you know, you can mark the answer. If you don't know, there is no chance of that. The next is comprehension, a very important part where as being an English literature student, you are supposed to fetch 5 out of 5 in comprehension. While solving the comprehension, first read the question. Do not read the comprehension. Do not read the passage first. First read the question. And looking at the question, then try to find the answer, which is the right way for solving the comprehension. This is one of the most easiest part of paper 1, where you have to study from any of the book. You can study the communication part, mathematical reasoning and aptitude. This is the mark fetching section of paper 1. If you are a bit good about mathematics and reasoning, here you can get 5 out of 5. So 5 questions they are going to ask from this area. So you can fetch 5 out of 5. And the logical reasoning, data interpretation. If you are good at mathematics, you can get again 5 out of 5. So do not quit any part, because sometimes they ask very easy baby questions from the data interpretation. And if you think that I am very weak, do not leave it. Just try your hand. You may solve 2 to 3 questions out of 6. Then information and communication technology. Mostly they are going to ask about 1 or 2 abbreviations and about the data from the latest technology development in communication sector. So take any books with either from KVS Madan, or you can also take any of the book and read just whatever the information is given, because the main focus area is solving the previous year paper. So when you are solving the previous year paper of paper 1, already you are covering everything. Then people development and environment. This is the one area where you need to focus more, because this is quite new area and it is something related to science. So this is the area you can put a focus and give half an hour every day to read this point. And then the higher education system. What is the latest development in the higher education system is important. So you can just Google out on the Google what is the latest organizations formulated in India in the higher education system. The latest education policy has also been formulated, so they might ask one or two questions from the new education policy that is going to implement from the next year. The questions might be who was the head of the new education committee. So they like that, pay 1 or 2 hours Googling out what are the latest information on the new education policy, because it's a new question, a new invention in this area. So definitely 1 or 2 questions will be there from the new education policy. This was about paper 1. What to study? Study the limited part. Do not study everything. You might be having hundreds of PDFs, hundreds of books, but do not try to read everything. Stay focused to one book. One book of British literature, one book for Indian literature, one book for American literature. Do not read so many books. You'll get totally confused. And read the important points first. If you have marked it in your book, read those marked areas. Do not read line by line. It's not the time to read line by line. If you have marked, you have highlighted the important points, go through that. Do not be a follower to others. If your friend says that I am studying like this, I am studying like this, do not follow them, because your friend or your colleague might be more intelligent than you or might be weaker than you. Your attitude is quite different. Your intelligence is quite different. Your interest is quite different. Your timetable is quite different. So do not follow others. Think of yourself, introspect yourself, make your own timetable, find your own strong areas, find your own interests, and go according to yourself. Do not rely on PDFs, rather try to read the hard copies where you have marked the important points. Reading PDFs for 4 to 5 hours will be quite disturbing, quite painful to your eyes. Do not take objective approach, rather adopt conceptual and descriptive approach. Although the questions which is being asked are objective in nature, but they are more tougher than the descriptive questions. So think from a descriptive point of view. Now, how to study? As I said that 3 to 4 hours to be given for solving the papers and 2 hours for revision. So whenever you are setting to revise the thing, take 2 to 3 chapters every day, minimum 2 to 3 chapters, where you are going to read the important points. When you read, do the active reading. Active reading is in the sense, always recite, always narrate loudly. So it will keep you awake, as well as your concentration level will be high and your mind will be receiving the correct command. And when you come for the next sitting, repeat those things which you have studied. So there must be 2 revisions at a time. Read only those points which you have marked or which you have highlighted. While you are studying, do not keep your mobile with you. It is always distracting. So focus one thing at a time and do not stretch your study for more than 1 hour. A mind cannot concentrate more than 45 minutes to 60 minutes at a time. So in between, give a relax, have a tea and coffee, have chat with your friends, have chat with your family members, and again with full energy, new source, again sit for another hour. Every 15 minutes, keep a bottle of water with you so that your mind will be keep on hydrating. Studying is one of the most difficult jobs which sometimes we ignore. So after 15 minutes, our mind starts dehydrating. So to hydrate our mind, every 15 minutes, take a cup of water. And every time you sit, give 5 minutes to revise the previous thing. Coming to paper 2. In paper 2, we have 10 units. These are the syllabus of paper 2. So how to focus and where to focus more on paper 2. The first 4 units, drama, poetry, fiction, and non-fiction. There is unlimited material, unlimited syllabus. There is no range of these 4 units. So before reading first 4 units, kindly focus the last 6 units, where they are going to ask 30 to 40% questions from unit 5 to unit 10. 40% question will be from unit 5 to unit 10 and 60% from unit 1 to 4. But unit 1 to 4, the area is large, limitless. Whereas in unit 5, if we talk about the basic concept of language, you just need to read 5 to 6 pages. If I talk about the pedagogy, only 4 to 5 pages are there. So if you compare just evolution has taken place, and some of the major writers of English literature, 20 to 25 major writers are there. So you just finish them, you will get 2 to 3 marks out of unit 6. Again, cultural studies, literary criticism, and literary theory post World War II. Although they are common units, and there are hardly 70, 80 pages or 100 pages in this, all the 3 areas. But the benefit of reading this cultural studies and literary criticism, you are going to get 50 to 20 marks, 50 to 20 questions just by reading 70, 80 pages. So there is a limit. In cultural studies and literary criticism, you know how many theories are there and how many theorists are there, important theory and theories. So here is a limit in the syllabus, where if you put focus, you will be getting more marks. Again, similar to research methods and materialist English, they are going to ask 2 to 3 questions from this unit also. So before starting with the drama, poetry, fiction, and non-fiction, kindly finish unit 5 to unit 10 first, so that this will become your green area. And let drama, poetry, and fiction, non-fiction to be your blue area. Again, now coming to unit 1, 2, 3, and 4. Where to focus more? Around 60% of the questions will be from British literature. So if you have a complete command of British literature, by only reading British literature and literary criticism, you can qualify the exam. But you should be dead sure that I am very much confident in British literature, because in British literature, the syllabus is limitless. So first of all, focus on the areas which are important, or the major writers like Wordsworth, Shakespeare, Milton, Spencer. These are the major writers of British literature. So do not ignore the major writers. But that doesn't mean that the minor writers, they won't ask any question from the minor writers. Definitely they will ask the questions from the minor writers, but the major writers will help you to eliminate the options. So this elimination technique you must have learned. You have to learn this technique. So that is the reason I am asking you to solve the previous year papers, so that you can practice how to eliminate the wrong options. Now, during exam, when you are going to appear for the exam, most of the time it happens that scholars commit mistake on those questions in which they are very much confident. Why? Because there might be something else, and in overconfidence, they mark some other answers. So read the question twice before you mark them, and be double sure before you click on the right option. Later on, you should not repent that this was the question I was knowing completely. It happens with everyone every time. Somebody commits this type of mistakes in 3 questions, somebody in 2 questions, but everyone does the same. But while you solve the practice sets, previous year questions, then this habit will be removed. This problem of committing mistakes in the known questions will be removed. So don't attempt any question in overconfidence. Even if you know the answer, read the complete question. Sometimes by looking at the half of the questions, you will know, oh my God, I know this answer. But at the last word, they ask something else. Sometimes there is a confusion between which of the following is not and which of the following is yes. Like which among the following is not a German writer. So you will feel like which of the following is a German writer. So in this overconfidence, you will mark the wrong answer. So read the question twice. Make a habit. Read the question twice. Read the complete question, whether you know or don't know. It should be your attitude, reading the complete question and looking at the all options. And attempt all those questions in which you are confident. Direct questions should be attempted first, and then the elimination round must begin. The questions in which you are completely blank, always attempt them in the last. You may also count your answers, which will give you confidence after you finish the questions in which you are confident. Count them, how many questions you have attempted. So suppose in 100 questions, you have attempted 25 or 30 questions. So that will give a confidence a bit to your mind. That is 30 questions हमारे कब्जे में है. Now I have to go for 25 more. So accordingly, your mind will be programmed gradually. So these are the things that you have to adopt while sitting in the exam. So this was all strategy from my side. Now you can ask any question if you have any doubt.